Hey everyone. So today I'm doing something a little bit different, but on my channel, there's always something different. Um, so I've been reading this book, Master Your Emotions, and I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of like review the chapters as I go along. It would kind of, I think it would help a lot of people, and it would help me kind of retain the information or kind of like go through the information a little bit more, and kind of make me think about the information a little bit better. So anyways, I was thinking about doing this because you guys know, if you guys seen my how I got out of my funk video, that I've had to really think about my emotions and why I'm feeling a certain way. And that's how I got into the law of assumption, because a lot of the thoughts that we think are because of the feelings that we feel, and we feel a certain way because of our assumptions. I hope that makes sense. We assume things about ourselves, and some of those things, sorry if you hear a little pitter patter, I have little doggies and they're walking around. But a lot of the assumptions that we have about ourselves don't just come from ourselves. It's not stuff that we think, that we want to think. And a lot of times we don't even think about our thoughts. So a lot of times we get our assumptions from other people. Like, they say something about us and we just say, oh really? I didn't know that. And then you just assume it to be true. So if somebody says, God, you're not even that attractive. Like, if you're have a crush on a guy. I know when I was younger and I had a crush on a guy. Well, no, hold on. When I was younger, there was this guy that had a crush on me, and I was like, no, no thanks. I don't really feel like that about you. And he was like, well, that's okay. You're not that attractive anyways. I don't know if he was trying to hurt my feelings or what. But I was like, oh, I'm not that attractive. I'm not, well, I never thought I was attractive at all. Not even now. Even when I have, a couple of guys trying to hit on me all the time, or guys hitting on me all the time, I still have this like deep assumption that I'm not good looking, And when we feel a certain way, we act a certain way, and we feel a certain way because of our assumptions, right? Or for me, like, sometimes I get into these deep, or I've gotten into these deep depressions, and it comes from, a lot of stuff that can happen in our lives. Like, our parents said a certain thing to us and made us feel terrible, or they act a certain way to us and we start assuming that it's because of us, and those assumptions make us feel a certain way, and we just get into this, like, what is it called, a rabbit hole of feelings, and it just weighs us down and can make us feel so unworthy and so unwanted. And we don't even think about why we think these things. We just assume these things to be true, and they're not. They might not even be true, right? If you want something, if you want something, if you want to feel a certain way, you just have to get new assumptions, right? And I can't promise that. Everybody has their own journey in life and their own things going on. But for me, the law of assumption has helped me with assuming new assumptions about myself. And when those negative thoughts come into my head, I just kind of just try like my best to disregard them, not even think about them, just be like, that's a stupid thought. Like, that's not even a true thought. Like, I had that thought, but it's not even true, so it doesn't matter. And so I try to be like, well, let's see, like, a thought could be like, you know, anything. Like, he doesn't like me because I'm nothing special, really. And I think those thoughts, and then I think to myself, like, disregard that. That's a stupid thought. I am awesome. I am amazing. Like, anybody would love to be with me. All these guys want to be with me, and just this one guy, is trying to play hard to get, and I know he likes me, so whatever. He can deal. He can act whatever he wants to act like, but I know that in the end he likes me, and he's gonna realize it. I mean, he already knows it. He's just trying not to. He's trying to play hard to get, and I'm not gonna play that game, or whatever, right? So yeah, all those thoughts can make us feel a certain way, and so I was thinking, like, as a woman, we have more emotions, I think. And it'd be a good idea to master your emotions, right? If you feel a certain way, kind of think about why you feel that way. And anyways, I'm starting to read this book, Master Your Emotions, and I want to go through it with you guys, but it's going to be chapter to chapter, because it's kind of a long book, and I'd kind of like to really get deep into it and like really think about what it's saying. So I'm gonna read the notes that I've written. I'm a note taker. I'm sorry, guys. First, I'm just gonna go through the notes and kind of just put in any input that I have. So first it says, our brain perceives rejection as a threat to our survival, even though it is truly not anymore. This is why rejection can be so painful. Even though it is no big deal, being rejected still causes emotional pain. Your mind will race with thoughts of unworthiness and come up with a big drama that can leave you feeling depressed. So yeah, kind of like that. I've never really thought about why rejection feels terrible. And a lot of us feel so scared to be rejected. Like sometimes it can leave us feeling like we can't even move forward with something because of that fear of rejection. And a lot of people have that fear of rejection. I've had that fear of rejection, but for me, I've learned to kind of push through it, right? Like if I feel rejected by somebody, then that's okay, because there's always that another somebody. But why does it make us feel so terrible? And so there you go. It was a threat to our survival. And so when we do get rejected, our mind starts thinking of thoughts like, why did we get rejected? Because I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm just not what they want. I'm just like all these things that you start thinking about yourself, or maybe it's not a person, but a job. Like, well, maybe I'm not good enough to get that job. I'm only at this level, and this is the highest that I can go. So up here is just, I guess that's just too much for me to even ask for. So a good example of that is, at my job, I was thinking about asking for a raise, or I am thinking about asking for a raise. But when I was gonna go up to my boss and ask her for a raise, or to ask who do I go to ask for one, I got this intense fear, maybe not fear, I don't know what it was. It's hard to put into words, I guess, but I was just I felt like I was starting to shake, and I couldn't bring myself to go in there and ask, so I just didn't. But that is the fear of rejection. If she says no, well, it's no. But a lot of times people are willing to negotiate something with you. Or what's the worst thing that could happen is that they'll tell me why I don't deserve a raise. They'll tell me that maybe I have not been doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or they'll tell me all the things that they feel like maybe I don't deserve that raise and I can work on those things, or whatever. But I will leave that little meeting with information on how to get that raise later on. But still, going in there is still scary, right? Still, and yeah, for me, it's just so scary. I just started shaking. But, you know, we just gotta try to get over that. Try to like, I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm just gonna do it. Maybe not right now because I called out this last time, just like 2 days ago. But I am going to. I'm gonna wait a couple months and I'm gonna go in there and ask. So what I did was I was writing down things that are bothering me, right? So I wrote down what my mind is telling me about these things, about maybe like the getting a raise thing. So what my mind is telling me. So what my mind does tell me is that maybe I don't deserve a raise. Maybe I know that my job is not gonna want to give me a raise. So it's kind of like futile to go in there and ask them when they're just gonna tell me no. I mean, my assumption that I need to work on before I go in there and ask for a raise is that they're not gonna give it to me because, God, I don't want to talk bad about my job, so I'm not gonna go into that. But I just feel, you know, like they're just not gonna want to, and that's what my mind is telling me. And so on the other end of my paper, on my notes, I wrote what my mind is telling me and what I do know. What I do know is that I've been there for a long time and I know everything that I need to know. And I get everything done. All my patients, I take care of all my patients. All my patients are happy. I never leave work for the next shift coming up. I work on learning things that I don't know because there's always something new to learn. So I learn things and I try to get things done before I'm asked to have it done. So anyways, I'm trying to like tell myself, like, don't be scared, because this is what your mind is telling you. It's trying to scare you. But what you do know is this. Okay, next I have your brain's job isn't to make you happy. Dopamine is released into the brain during exercise, when gambling, having sex, or eating great food. Fats used to be needed by the body so that we had an excess in case of any food shortages. And I wrote, this is why your body loves fatty foods. How food is everywhere, but the brain still craves what millions of years of this need had for us. So next I have sex for women releases dopamine and help us bond to children so that we'll raise them to men so that we will want to take care of them. Therefore, they take care of us. So for me, that was good to know, because when we do like somebody and that we know that they like us, we start feeling this like attachment, right? Like, and it's not even our fault. It's genetic, or it's like, yeah, it's a natural thing that women feel attachment to men because of these things. And so when you have sex with them, then there's that possibility that you could have kids with them. And so you have that attachment to them so that they'll take care of you and you'll take care of each other. And it also, when you have, I don't remember if it was this book that I read it, but and this is rated R, guys, but when men or babies or women, could be women, nibble on your nipples, for women, it causes dopamine release, and that dopamine helps you bond to that person. And so that is a genetic thing for women. It helps you bond to your child or to the person who's doing the deed, and you want to take care of you. You start loving them, you start feeling this bond for them. And that's why that's why when you have a child, they ask you to go ahead, and it's not the only reason why, but when you breastfeed them for the first time, it causes that dopamine release, and you start, you love that child. You never met that child before, but he was in your belly and now you love him, and you start telling yourself all these things about why you love this child so much, just like when you first have sex with a guy. And so that's why it's important not to have sex right away with a guy, because you will bond with them, and your mind will start racing with things of why this person is so perfect for you. Just like how it races with thoughts of why your child is so important for you to take care of, and why you love that child so much. And so when it starts racing, this guy could be like a dirtbag. He could be like a guy who doesn't even like to work, but your mind will start convincing you of thoughts like, well, he's a great guy and he's good looking, and he's a sweet guy. He's very sweet. He takes care of me and he loves me. And yeah, he might not have a job, and he might have not had a job for like months now, but that's not, he'll change. We can work well together. Your mind will start making up all these thoughts about how things are going to be okay. So yeah, if you can try, for women, of course, if you can, try not to have sex for a while with a guy until you actually know him and you know whether you would want to spend your time with him or not. I'm not saying wait till you get married, but I'm just saying give yourself time to get to know this guy first, because you don't want to bond to a guy that's not even worth it. Guys probably would hate me for saying that, but it's true, and it's a genetic kind of thing. So, you don't want to bond to a guy that's not worth it. Know your standards, have standards for the guys that you're dating. And yeah, just don't get yourself trapped in crazy thoughts that your mind will tell you, because your mind will your mind will convince you. It's a really convincing thing. It'll convince you of stuff, like when you think to yourself that you're not good enough, it'll convince you of why you're not good enough, and yeah, you'll go along, you'll be like, yeah, you're right, it's not right. Anyway, so you got to be really careful. So I got hedonic adaptation, wanting something, but once we have it, the want wears off and the excitement has diminished. Now we want something else. I've had that happen. Hedonic adaptation. Maybe you believe that once you made it, you got the person, you will be so much happier. But science shows that once you got it, once you've won the lottery, your happiness level will come back to neutral. What this means is that the external events play a minimal effect on your happiness. 50% of happiness is determined by 50% of the happiness is determined by genetics, 40% by internal factors, the thoughts that you thought to yourself, and 10% by external factors. I thought that was big. So yeah, wanting something doesn't mean that you're actually gonna be happy when you get that something. So let's say you want somebody, the lame guy, right? And you want him so much, you're crazy about him, that's all you think about. Or a girl, that's all you think about is her, that's all you think about. And you can't wait to see each other, and that's the first part. And then you get married, and then you're happy. You have a house, the excitement of having a house and having the guy that you love is there. But once time goes by, the happiness wears off and you go back to neutral. Then you need something else to make you happy. So I don't know, you go shopping, or you have to buy a new car, or you need a new puppy. That's what I do. I get puppies, or blah, 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 blah. You need something more to make that happiness, kind of like you need that happiness factor there to feel excited about something. So it's not the lottery that's going to make you happy. It's not that person that's going to make you happy. It's not that new car that's going to make you happy. It's the internal things. So yeah, 50% of happiness is determined by genetics, 40% by internal factors. So that's the big thing for me, is that it's the thoughts that you think that will make you happy or not. So I can think negative thoughts, or I can think positive thoughts, right? And 10% by external factors. So your attitude towards life determines your happiness, not what happens to you. Yeah. So if you hate your job and you're constantly thinking to yourself how much you hate your job, how much you run around, you don't get paid enough, you know, all this stuff you do, you're thinking all that kinds of negative thoughts, you're not going to be happy. That's not going to make you happy. You're going to think, if you think more like, how lucky I am to have a job like this, a job where I can set my own schedule mostly. I work 2 days a week. I can pick up days whenever I want to. The people that I work with, the thing that I have been telling myself that has made my job experience kind of pitiful is that I can't find anybody who I really connect with at my job. So I just kind of like am there trying to make the time go by. But if I give myself challenges like meeting new people, talking to them, you know, not being on my phone, talking to them, getting to know them. If one person is not my cup of tea, then maybe I'll move on to another person. And there at the hospital, there's a ton of people. So yeah, if I give myself little challenges of meeting new people and thinking better thoughts about my job, then I'm gonna love my job better, right? I'm gonna think better about my job. I'm gonna feel better about my job. Yeah. Or about anything really. And I wrote a list of what gives me shots of dopamine. And that was the first chapter. The next chapter is the ego. And I have notes, I think, in my little backpack. But that'll be the next video on this little series. But yeah, I think that was a great little session. What do you guys think? Just knowing that it's mostly the internal that causes our happiness. And there's a lot of, I read a good amount of the book, but now I'm taking notes on it and kind of getting more into it again. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. We'll talk about the ego next. I have some videos coming up. This is gonna be my next one. This is gonna be now when I post it. It's gonna be here now. But I got 2 videos coming up. One that I'm finishing, it's a cleaning video, and another cleaning video. You guys love my cleaning videos, so I'm trying to do some cleaning videos for you guys. And I think that's it. Then I'll start with the ego video. And yeah, I don't know whether I want to do the ego, like I want to do this one, then a cleaning video, then the ego, then the other cleaning video, or what. But those are the videos that are coming up next. Thank you guys for all the new subscribers. And yeah, I love you guys so much. You guys make me so happy. That's it for now, I think. I'll see you guys next time, okay? All right, bye.